Hello, welcome to another episode of Battle Topics. I'm your host, Clayton, along with my co-host,
Stalk, also a part of Ruin Your Day, active battle rapper. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about a quick rise to fame to the battle rap ranks, the do's and don'ts, maybe get a little insight. And our guest for this episode is Frak. Frak, how you doing?
What's up, boys? Good to be with you, too.
It's the chill in the flesh, the rhythm of breath, the feeling a slippery kiss on your neck. Figuring out an intricate step, but losing the thought like give it a rest. Flicker the moment, a flicker the wrist, centered emotion and level to lift. The cinematography in this monotony, feeling like God for just giving a shit. Let's go.
We kind of wanted to touch base with you basically because when was your debut? Like, when was your first battle? It was Battle of the Day, right?
Yeah, my first battle was against young Robo the God. It was about a year ago. I think a year and a month ago.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. We were like, holy crap, that was only a year ago, and you were main event of World Domination Day 3, right? You were the last
battle. Got there super late just so we could main event.
Really?
And they had to buy him.
So you were main event.
Well. Yeah, we were main event.
All right, so basically we wanted to just figure out the steps you took to make that rise so quick, because we see people, especially in Battle of the Day, that are super hungry, and he's got tryouts left and right, and for some reason either they just don't connect or they just never find their spot in the battle rap realm. Mm-hmm. We want to know what direction you started out with and any advice that you have for people coming up.
Word. Well, I guess I'll start by just giving a brief history of me as a rapper, because I started rapping when I was 14, 7 years before I ever tried out for battle rap. And I think that, in its own way, played a part in my quick come up. Started when I was 14, and I was in a rap group called For Real, and it was me, these two black guys, and the fourth member was the music.
Oh my God! That sounds like a fake boy band MTV would do a show about.
You know how rap groups in Oakland or whatever start out hella ignorant, and then eventually by the third album they'll make a conscious song. We started the whole opposite way. We were the most conscious fucking making songs about unity and talking about communism before we even knew what it meant. It was just really embarrassing. But I started rapping when I was 14, so I've been doing the craft for a while. And then when I was 17, I won this thing called the Bay Area MC Olympics, which I guess is those old rap Olympics footage of Eminem. Yeah. That's kind of they're trying to start that again with this MC Olympics thing. And
now, was For Real ignorant at that point?
For Real never got to the point that it could get ignorant. No, our last song was called Dreams of Red, and
about communism. All right.
Then I won the Bay Area MC Olympics, and I traveled to Philly to compete in the nationals. I won, but then I got robbed at the end. It was a long story, but anyway, one of the people in the audience was Jamie DeWolf, who is the person who runs Tourette's Without Regrets. For the people who don't know, Tourette's Without Regrets is this Oakland show that happens every first Thursday. That is where a lot of battle rappers like Thesaurus and Madness and Tantrum and them were freestyle champs there. So anyway, Jamie sees me at these MC Olympics, and he's actually his girlfriend comes up to my dad at the MC Olympics, and she says, "Your son is sexy, I love Jewish boys." And eventually we decided that I probably shouldn't go freestyle battle. I was also kind of a fucking idiot, hip hop head at 17, and I was battling's too negative, man. I like watching it, but I just don't. I'm too positive to do battle rap, you know. Eventually, he convinced me, and I went and battled at Tourette's Without Regrets, and won a shitload of freestyle battles there. That kind of spurred me into battle rap. Honestly, what made me try out for Dirtbag Dan's League, my first plan was to just become a famous rapper and then battle rap, do a battle as a famous rapper, coming into the culture. And then when I realized that it was going to take a while to become famous, and I was just watching the Dirtbag Dan show for hours on end anyway, I was I'm wasting so much time watching fucking battle rap shit, I might as well try this shit. So yeah, I tried it. That was my first battle with Robo. I freestyled half of it because I still was pretty dumb and didn't understand the work it took to put into it. But I think part of the reason I came up quickly is because I kind of had this fan base already in the Bay Area. So I was able to like transition them to be battle fans and sell tickets, get views, and like this is like only one piece of advice, but it's good to have a back catalog of content. Shoot some music videos so the promoter you're working with knows that you're Dirtbag Dan. If you win your tryout, you only fucking win your tryout. That doesn't mean you're going to get a plate at the next event. You have to like show him that you're able to sell tickets or that you have a name in the Bay Area. And like the stages I've performed in GZ and stuff are they're like still the smallest stages I perform at. Like I perform for way more people, opening shows and all that. But the fan base is much bigger in battle rap.
Yeah,
So
obviously your rise to the ranks, begins at the foot in the door and culminates at, world domination. So when you approached Dan for a Battle of the Bay battle, was it like an email that says, hey, I got a Jamie Dolph cosign, here's footage of me rapping, I performed in front of X amount of people? Did you kind of synopsize your resume for Dan to give you a shot, or did he offer it to you? How did that happen?
I'm sure a lot of thirsty rappers are synopsizing their resumes in Dan's inbox right now, but
Yeah.
I think it was actually Jamie who just kind of was peer pressuring me and being like, dude, you need to battle Dirtbag Dan. And I was like, he basically plugged me in and was like, check out these guys' music videos. He's super dope. Yeah, then I reached out to Dan. He's like, of course, dude, like, come through. When I did, like, okay at my tryout, he already knew that giving me Lex D as my next battle be, appropriate because
some people battle for years to get to Lex D.
Yeah, I have some questions for you, dude, because my second answer to that question is I think it's all timing. I came into battle rap at the time when uppercomers were finally getting valued. I came at the time when Dirtbag Dan was trying to champion someone as the new Bay Area threat, and he was trying to get into managing battle rappers. And I came into a time, the post-Christian 818 era, per se, where I feel like you and SM and some of the other West Coast cats came out in the era where it fucking sucks. And I think a lot of it was just luck and timing.
I think of kind of, just from like an outsider looking in, it's like this era is like the fans are kind of getting stagnant, especially with some of these other leagues where it's like there's just the same 10 names recycled over and over again. If you look at the horizon, you see that it's just going to like fall off. Everyone's going to have already battled each other before. So everyone was kind of like, all right, we need to start building up names. We need to start looking towards the future and investing more into these younger guys rather than just mixing and matching all these random people who have been battling for 10, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard. I feel like I came from not so much a graduating class, or I don't know what the fuck we've graduated from, but there's a group of guys, myself, Psychosis, SM, Mad Flex, Lex D, Tino, just this group of guys in Central California that we would bump elbows and perform on the same PY cards and GZ cards and local leagues. We would run into each other all the time, and we were familiar with each other, but it's barely now that certain people are getting recognition and hitting, certain levels of success. After years of just kind of in purgatory, checking our watches next to each other, especially on the West Coast, we didn't have developmental territory. We didn't, we had Prove Yourself, which wasn't run that great, and Dan finally brought in kind of a breeding ground for young people like you, like Robo, guys who are getting noticed and can develop and work out their kinks on camera at a quick pace too. And so obviously we have a organized system of guys to send out to the world now, whereas when I was coming out, there was kind of like 10 guys going, do we battle each other again? I don't know what to do. So Battle Rap now has become much more organized in terms of the lower mid-tier because the top tier needs people. They need names to work with in the future, even though, if it works, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because obviously you can't teach timing. You can't give timing as an advice, although it does play a very, very pivotal role. Have you made any mistakes along the way? It's been a fucking year and you're already international. But looking back in the past year, is there something you wish you could have changed? Something you wish someone would have told you at your first battle?
Well, actually, I think I did make a mistake, and the mistake almost happened as a consequence of this new system. Because I was getting escalated fast as shit. My third battle was on Back to Basics 3 with Disaster and Jonah and Pass and Arsenal. And luckily I fucking smashed it on that card like shot me up the ranks. And then I had a Royal Rumble and I faced Caustic and Caddy Ron, and you know, some shit went down, but I did super well in that battle too. I think like the only reasonable next step for my 5th battle was to be King of the Dot main page. So that's what happened. I got to battle Everybody Knows as the GZ headliner on main page, but I think I almost came up too quickly. Luckily, I was able to kind of maneuver my other battles beforehand, but for the Everybody Knows battle, I took the battle at a time when I was kind of like in the middle of writing my thesis for school. So I just like figured like, you know, I've been killing all the other battles, I'll probably still kill this one. And I kind of like, I still enjoy watching that battle, but I feel as though I folded under the pressure a bit of being escalated so quickly. I think that was a good thing because literally I was able to learn from that battle so much. Like I watched that battle and like everything in my Step Easy performance was like me diagnosing that performance and where I fucked up and what my strengths are.
I think that goes for pretty much any aspect of battling. I mean, I watched an interview with Pat Stay talking about his Sirius Jones battle, about how he fucked up his 3rd round and all stuff like that. And he pretty much had the same answer as you, where he took for granted how he would just wait till the last minute to prepare, and it had always worked out before and stuff like that. And then sure enough, he went up, did what he did, but he said that he's almost glad that happened because now he knows the steps to take to never have that happen again.
Yeah, things like that are a learning experience, you know. Obviously, going from your Battle of the Day tryout all the way to the Royal Rumble is just nothing but escalation. You're going up. You're not failing upwards, which is what I say I do. I fail upward, you know. But do you think the Everybody Knows battle, the fact that maybe you didn't perform like you wanted, or the fact it was on GZ at the end of the day and not main page, so you just consider that like a humbling experience, like something you might have needed to kind of just kind of put things in perspective and keep it level?
Not only a humbling experience, in the sense that it may have calmed down my ego, but also like a learning experience because it was the first night of the bunker ever. In all my other battles, the crowd had kind of carried me and been like on my side, and if a dude blew smoke in my face and I puffed on my asthma inhaler, they're already like on my back, and like I was kind of carried by the crowd. The bunker was more of an awkward environment. It was like kind of quiet that night. So, like, being able to watch that battle with that awkward crowd, I could easily pick apart all my flaws. And, like, I could watch it like I was a fucking sports analyst and, like, look back at it and be like, here's the holes in my style.
And you were touching on this before we started the interview about kind of how, I never even thought of this, but almost every single battle you've done has had some kind of, like, controversy or, like, hot topic in it, whether it be like Coma blowing the smoke in your face, or you getting slapped, you getting shut down mid-3rd round and having to battle in the street, or even opening the first bunker day ever, being the main event. And that's probably helped, right?
And being the first ever like GZ battle to open a big card, which was Back to Basics 3, which I think has been like incorporated into other events now, having that like no-name battle starting it off so you can be introduced to some strangers. But yeah, I seem to thrive off controversy, even though, like I was telling you, I'm like the least controversial guy ever. I'm like, I hate any type of controversy or fucking wild.
At that point, that's also a good thing, you know. Nobody likes to be in the oven, but when you are immune
references.
Sorry, when you're almost like immune to bad stuff going, especially in your first year, how everything kind of happens so quickly. You do need things like a solid L, some fuck shit, you know, some controversy to develop a thick skin, kind of assimilate you to the battle rap culture. Because there are guys who thrive off that. There are guys who have a long history of that stuff. And so it's kind of like, okay, so here's a taste of some bullshit. Here's a taste of some hatred. Here's a taste of some sabotage. It kind of makes you more of a well-rounded MC and adds to the resume of it.
Yeah, and it catapulted me. Like, the smoke thing in my face, that was, like, a big moment, and it was, like, a very talked-about moment. And, like, the slap, although it's cringy, like, it's also, like, a moment I had with Cadillac Ron before his death, and, like, it's, like, something that gets brought up, something I mentioned in the Step Easy battle as both of us having a victim support group for battle rappers who have went through violence. I think all these things kind of feed into that question is, like, what escalates you quickly if you're a GZ guy? I wouldn't say controversy necessarily, but just trying to market yourself in a way that's original. I think there's a lack of that in battle rap right now. It's a lot of stagnant fools and a lot of the same styles being robotically manipulated.
Uh-huh. They think if they have 3 rounds of bars, that'll create a buzz. I just gotta have 3 rounds of solid bars and people talk about me. It's like, no, you gotta give them something.
You gotta get slapped
even if it's intentional or not.
You gotta get slapped in the face once in a while, and you can make your name in battle rap.
And now, this year more than ever, I think GZ has kind of been on the map of like, people always thought of GZ as kind of like the throwaway battles or like just like the not main page worthy battles. But now GZ is starting to have like a fan base to where they have their own breed of talent. Whenever I get like King of the Dot messages from fans that are like, yo, how do I get on this next King of the Dot card? And I'm like, dude, I don't think you know how this works. Even becoming like that first GZ battle to open the night, some of those people work years just to get that start off spot. You know what I mean? Like how you did. Yeah. And like you said, yours was accelerated because it was in a time where they needed fresh talent so much. But now where GZ is getting so competitive, it's becoming even more competitive to get on GZ and then become the opener for a big card and then even get noticed on the big card. So like you said, your timing was really good, but now the wave is going back down. Now you have to be competitive to even get on the GZ card.
And I think a lot of that has to do with like individuals like Stalk, SM, all these like there's original characters in GZ now. And I think that has rebranded it. Guys like Ellipsis and, there's a bunch of people, that like have kind of like created a niche for themselves as their own individual singular talent. You know what I mean? Like they're not like anybody else in the game. Battle rap is really just personality, man. It's like, who can I relate to? Who do I see myself in? Who do I see as like someone who I feel like I could kick it with? And I think people and you have to be good at rapping, but I think people are combining those two aspects in an interesting way, and that's rebranding GZ.
You are a special case in that it did happen for you, and it worked out, and it did seem very organic. It doesn't seem, no pun intended, you clearly didn't seem to pay off anybody and flip 20s into the promoter's wallet. But there are people who are saying, okay, how can I do this? How can I go from A to Z like Frak did in a year? But there's a sea full of SMs and Urban Elements and Luke Newcombs and guys who are like, fuck you. No, like we're putting in work at the GZ level right now. Like Alias the Addict, who's like, I'm going to be on that main card before you suck a dick. And so, your rise is inspiring to fans, but they shouldn't get it twisted. Not everybody is going to have the year Frak had. They're going to have to work a lot harder. They're going to have to take different avenues, and they're going to have to be different in general.
Even with the Jeff and Laugh-N-Stock battle, anytime someone's like, name a GZ battle that we can, it's almost like every single link, someone posts a link to that battle just because your two characters are so definite. Like, you know who you are as a character, Jeff knows who he is as a character, and it's not just like...
that's the actual one thing I don't have that I think you do have, Laugh, is a really good back-and-forth battle. Every battle I've been in has had some controversy and some fuck shit, but I've never had a GZ classic or something where two guys go ham.
I appreciate that, but the context of a good back-and-forth battle is sadly not anything you can teach someone to have because it requires two people. You can be the best battler in the world, and cool, you caught a body. No one's going to want to watch that again. Circumstance is what creates classics, and classics require replay value, which is beyond just one person. Although DNA and ENES I watch all the time just for ENES. So sometimes it does take just one person to create replay value, I guess.
Yeah.
That's just nutty. Yeah, I guess if I were to give like a Rachel Ray, like Frak's 5 steps to success in GZ, I would definitely say number one.
Say something racist. Oh, okay.
Say something.
Number one.
Yeah, like.
Wait, no, that's not. Wait, who's the one that
in the oven?
Who was the one that said something racist? It wasn't Rachel Ray. Paula Dean. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Paula Dean, right?
Yeah, she said the racist shit.
If you're trying to come up in the cooking world, definitely say something racist. I think there's a good parallel between these two worlds, honestly.
No, okay, but you did have some real advice to give out. If you had to say the one thing or 5 things, what's up?
I kind of have 3 in mind, but I'll try and bullshit some more. The first one I said is that I think is important is try and have a back catalog and like a history of as a rapper. You know what I mean? Even if you're like just a battle fan and you want to try it, at least like, you know, start webcamming yourself spitting or something. I know in battle rap in 2016 you don't have to be promoting your music. I'm like a dinosaur in that sense that I'm like still doing it to promote my music. And to be honest though, it's really worked. I've gotten so many purchases on my mixtape and so many YouTube shares from battle rap fans who just want to get to know you as a guy, like just being on the Dirtbag Dan show and seeing people being like, yo, Frak's new music video is hot. Like people really care about you as a creative outlet. But anyway, that's my number one advice is try and do something outside of battle rap that makes you interesting before you try out. Try and be like a character of your own who has some type of backstory before you even try out. Mm-hmm. Number two, be original. You know, like be yourself is important, but I think even more important is to be an original version of yourself. If yourself is just 100 multis, like campaign speech, don't battle rap. But if yourself is like adds a little twist in there, you know, try and think of yourself in a light that's like, here's what I could do differently than what I see in battle rap now. We've seen every style that could happen. I guess I really only have two. Do you have anything to ask, Brett?
No, not at all.
Totally off topic.
All right, we're going to go into the lightning round.
What is the most obscure allergy that you have?
Wow. The way I say it, when I say it, I say cats, dogs, gerbils, certain forms of mayonnaise. But I think it's juniper trees, because I had a juniper tree in the front of my house, and that shit fucked me, dude.
Amazing. The next question is, if you were to start a Jewish dot mob, who would you include?
Ooh, I would include Seth Rogen, Iron Solomon, and Lenny Kravitz.
Half of Lenny Kravitz.
He'd be doing the spanking.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but your degree was in journalism, right?
Nah.
What was
English and media studies.
Oh, media studies. Okay, media studies, same
even
shit.
Better.
Yeah, even better. So, with your media studies degree, how do you plan on using that, and what advice can you give Battle Rap Chris?
Well, right now I'm working for this website where we're like building like rap ciphers and shit, so it's been pretty cool because I just pretty much sit home all day in my pajamas and hit DM rappers and try and make ciphers happen. So that's how I'm using my degree. And advice for Battle Rap Chris, when I first watched him, he was kind of like awkward to watch. Now he's like he's the cooler one out of the battle rapper in the interview. Like he like
isn't that weird? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like so loose and stuff. I saw him.
He literally like dances.
Hip Hop DX had this live stream where they were like listening to struggle rappers and like critiquing them in the comment boxes. And it was Chris with all the staff of Hip Hop DX, and he was just like by far the most seasoned in talking shit in the room. Like he was just clowning as fuck. I was like, wow, this guy's pretty cool now.
Quick question. You and I have joked in the past about having asthma. I grew up with asthma. You were a nebulizer baby, probably like I was. You still carry that albuterol with you? How are you doing on that?
Stay strapped at all times. I'm actually getting sponsored by this asthma company right now, where like they're monitoring my breathing and shit, and I think they might be sponsoring my next battle. So that's another advice for battle rappers: take the things that makes you the lamest and try and get money from it.
There you go. Has being a part of the battle rap scene exacerbated your asthma at all due to all the marijuana clouds?
Yes, definitely the Dirtbag Dan show, because the dabbing is just too much for me. You know, I struggle with the dabbing.
I can't tell if you meant to say that like a Jewish guy or it just naturally happened, but it was great.
All right, let the people know where they can find you, and we'll wrap it up.
Frak, YouTube me, check out my music videos, soundcloud.com/Frak, and then on Twitter and Instagram it's @FrakDMC. Wait, Brett, do you friend battle fans on Facebook? I'm having like a crisis whether I'm trying to decide if I should.
What I do is if they ask for a friend request and I have more than 5 mutual friends that are also battle rap people, I'll accept them. That's clearly what they know me from.
Those are some sleazy standards, man. You're just letting anyone in.
No, you don't get it. No. Okay, I don't like to, if If we have no mutual friends or I can't see, they're an instant delete, especially if they're a woman. So if we have mutual battle app friends, what I do is I immediately add them. I go to their profile and I unfollow them. I accepted their friend request, but I never have to hear their opinion. I do that often.
Dude,
All right.
representing the culture, guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, back at you.
All right, see you, man.